All right, it's really time to get started. Welcome everybody to Transformers at Work, second edition, 2021. I'm very nervous. It's unbelievable. It's great to see you guys here in person, and I think it's a little bit living on the edge. And we're so happy that you guys could come and that we can pull this off as a real in-person event. The last edition of this workshop, some of you were there, was January 2020. Imagine yourself back in January 2020. Life was quite different. A few things have happened since then. Like, for example, I think in 2020, nobody knew what transformers were and how to live with them. No, that's not true. But sorry, I have too many things. Yeah, the world has changed incredibly in ways that we don't even understand yet. But one thing for sure hasn't changed, and that is that research and development, innovation needs in-person meetings. Things have been moving forward in the last year, but to really get ideas going, you need discussion with other people. You need to listen to talks. You need to have coffee with people. You need to grab a beer and really get your thoughts flowing. So we thought it really important to bring that back as soon as possible. Who of you would rather follow this on Zoom than be here? So yeah, I think life is full of risks and we can't control them 100%. But yeah, I think in our little vaccine bubble, we need to enjoy it at the moment. And so we think it's really important also to bring you back to this place. Startup Village, Science Park, Amsterdam. It's really at the center, I think, of the Amsterdam AI ecosystem, where startups, large companies, and academic research meet and can talk freely and develop new ideas. That's really here in the center, and with I think it's a real important hub also for Dutch AI and European AI. So really happy to have you all here. And it's perfect breeding ground for new technology, new ideas with two such excellent research universities. University of Amsterdam, who's from University of Amsterdam here? Raise your hand. Quite a lot. And Vrije Universiteit also in full effect. So welcome. Yeah, so I think that's the perfect epicenter for a start of a new creative season. We're celebrating this return to in-person events, but we're also celebrating a few other things. It's our second birthday with Zeta Alpha. Yay! Right here on the Startup Village, Wouter, right there, was here at the time. We started Zeta Alpha 2 years ago, so 1st of September 2019. And we're celebrating one more thing, almost. It's close to 1 year from the launch of our product, the AI Research Navigator. And we're really proud to have many users and also customers of the product here with us. So thank you for coming. So that's our product. I won't be talking a lot about that, but we're working really hard to build the best platform for discovery, organization, sharing, and staying up to date in AI and data science. There will be demos in the breaks in the hallway if you're interested in more in the product. Andre and his team are happy to tell you more about our features and our plans for the future. But we are also celebrating one more thing, and that's the progress in our field. It's been amazing. Even through the pandemic, So this is actually one of the features of our platform. We built this visualization tool together with the people from Leiden University. Some of them are also here. Raise your hands. Yes, two at least. It's a semantic map based on document vectors of all the publications in the last 2 years about transformers. So the amount of literature that came out on this topic is really enormous, and a lot of progress has been made both in academic research, but also in, of course, at the large tech research companies. The whole transformer architecture has made its way super rapidly into products. I think Google was one of the first one, but now it's almost everywhere. In every sort of AI type product, we have transformers embedded, and it's in in large part actually through the popularity of the Hugging Face transformers library. So we're really proud to have Thomas and Niels from Hugging Face here as speakers. They won't be promoting the Hugging Face libraries because I don't think that needs promoting. So, but we're a fan. Especially so, I think when we started 2 years ago, we had only a very faint idea of how we would use contextual embeddings for good document search. Actually, our first attempts were rather clumsy, and I've learned enormous lot over the last 2 years. But obviously, in retrieval, in search, the success of neural methods has been really phenomenal. They've blown away every benchmark, every state-of-the-art record on every benchmark, more or less, right? Every benchmark, yeah. Or are there still a few small villages in France that are resisting? We're really proud to have a number of the people who actually kind of contributed significantly to this whole revolution here on our podium today. And we're also really proud. We're just a small startup, but we're also really proud that we have managed in those 2 years to bring that state of the art into our products. And our research lead, Marzi, will tell you a little bit more about that in a bit. Our goal as Zeta Alpha is to give you access to key knowledge in AI and data science through our platform, our events, and our writings. So Sergi is a prolific blogger, and he will be hosting the stage here. So we're really happy to have you here for this event to hear all the latest gossip about transformers and related. So that's the schedule. We're off to a little bit of a late start. We have 3 blocks of speakers with short breaks. We have a 20-minute talks with 5 minutes for questions, and Sergi is going to be keeping the schedule pretty tight. And please make sure to come back from the breaks on time. There'll be plenty of time to socialize in the evening. And in the evening, we are recording these talks, and we are actually broadcasting them in a Zoom webinar, so it's open to the public, and we'll also be recording them and making them available after the event, not on this YouTube channel, but through Zoom right now. And the workshop ends at 6, but if you signed up also for the party, we'll have Velvetronic brass band here on the stage, really living on the edge. And if you can just imagine for a moment how privileged we are as researchers and technology people throughout the last 1.5 years, and how musicians must have felt during that same time. So they're really ready to go. So with all that being said, I'm going to give the stage to our MC for the day, Sergi Castella. Welcome him.
Yes. All right. Hi. Yeah, so for those who don't know me, my name is Sergi. I'm going to be your MC this afternoon. Yeah, like Jakub said, I'm extremely excited about this. Like, it's really special and a bit nervous, but yeah. So I think one of the nice things about this evening is that we have a bit of a mixed audience, right? I think we have some people from research, some people from industry. So I wanted to start by doing a bit of a background check to know where, the temperature of the room. So for instance, can we get some hands up for who knows about dense retrieval? Okay, I think that's pretty good. What about re-ranking? Okay, that's good. So who's heard about BERT? Yeah, a lot of hands up. GPT? Yeah, same. Roberta? Yeah, good. XL BERT? Well, I just made that up, so. No, there is one that's called Big Bird. That's what maybe you were thinking. So I'm guessing that most people know what a transformer is, but who knows what is the attention mechanism? All right, yeah, pretty good. So who could code attention from scratch? Not that many brave hands, but what about with NumPy? Okay, including backprop, no autograd. I see some good. We're gonna talk later. Good. All right, yeah. So if you didn't raise your hand much, don't worry. We're gonna try to cover the basics, but we're also not gonna shy away from going in depth, right? So I hope you enjoyed. All right, so a bit of some historical context for those who don't know it. So back in old days, 2017, right? There was this thing called CNNs, which were like the dominating in the computer vision world. And then we also had these LSTMs, which were really popular for sequence modeling. I would say that these were the two top. Like everyone was using them. Or really good stuff. Pretty famously popularized by Jan LeCun, right? And the LSTMs were also quite famously presented and by Schmidhuber and his co-authors. And yeah, like these two together with supervised learning, like labeling data and training models were extremely popular at the time, so much so that one of them was apparently worth a Turing Award, not both, but let's not dwell on that too much. The important thing is we had these, very popular things. And then this paper came around where the transformer architecture was proposed, which was strongly based on attention. The idea is that you previously, to model sequences, you were using recurrent neural networks. Most people were using that, where you process the input one step at a time, right? And this guy said, okay, what if we feed the whole sequence into the model? And then attention is this mechanism that, by the way, it was not invented by this guy. It was proposed before in the context of machine translation. But attention is only was the ones who put it together, call it, put a nice name to it, and showed that it worked great in machine translation. And a bit later after that, this paper, Elmo, came around, which was using LSTMs. But the big thing about this paper was it really showed how well you could use pre-trained and supervised pre-training on text data to get very good representations of text. And then around that time, GPT also came, but also BERT was probably the most popular, who showed how a version of language modeling together with this transformer architecture, it just made it very big, and it just beat all the benchmarks. So yeah, that was great. And starting from there, a lot of things, this really blew up, and then suddenly everything was about transformers. So many architectures. I put together this bit of a timeline here. So you have the attention is all you need. This Elmo. We have this. I found that I think the Hugging Face implementation of PyTorch was around a couple of months after the BERT paper, which I think went on to become the library we all know today. We also have this passage re-ranking from Rodrigo, who was quite a pioneer in bringing these transformers to information retrieval. A lot of new architectures. Sentence BERT from Niels, which was also super popular. Google putting BERT in production. And then, from 2020 on, you have this explosion of transformers going into other domains like computer vision. You have GPT-3 also prompting vision transformers, multimodal stuff. Pretty crazy stuff. And that brings us to today, where we're going to talk mostly about neural retrieval, which I put there with some of our speaker faces there. It's a really exciting time for us. So one of the most pervasive things about this transformer architecture, and I think that most of you will agree, has been the issue of scale, right? And I think that's going to be a topic that we're going to touch on today. So this slide was from mid-2019, when this BERT was proposed. It was a really small model that performed pretty well, right? And we have this NVIDIA Megatron language model, which is pretty big at the time. And I think most of you will know how this sort of ends, right? A few months after you have this Turing NLG, then a couple of months after you have OpenAI with GPT-3 making the news. And then by now we have this a bit of obscure language model, Chinese language model that's above 1 trillion parameters. And I think that there's a lot of also models that we don't know about that are pretty big. So I think that a very interesting question that our speakers are going to come up to answer is like, to what degree this is interesting. And I'm very looking forward to listening to that. And without further ado, I would like to introduce our first speaker for the event, Marzi Fadoy, who is a research lead at Zeta Alpha. She obtained her PhD at the UVA in language and machine translation. And please, a warm welcome for Marzi.